Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HRL IndyHog finale, round number 15. We started this shit in September. It almost feels like we started it in July because of Road to IndyHog. I don't know. It kind of, even though we weren't racing, kind of blends together for me. But it's been a long time, right? Put a lot of effort into this series, doing something different, doing something like this. I always kind of wanted to do, trying it out, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I'm sure we'll do some more retrospective when we get into like the recaps and stuff like that. But we still have a race. We have a race here on Hoguna Seca, or well, Laguna Seca, but Hoguna Seca because it's fun. I forgot. Let's do a quick fly through. So obviously, the main straight. I love the elevation. So this track. Made by Detail. This is his one schlack on the season, and pretty good one. So we had an original version of this track. His PC got hit with the file conk. I don't know, and ended up redoing it. So this is the second version of the track, and definitely happy with the redo. I liked the original, but this one definitely turned out way better. So it's one of those things where, like, you know, it kind of what happened kind of sucks, obviously, but it was actually, I would say, good thing that it happened, because this track definitely turned out to be a lot cooler. And yeah, I think we all kind of thought that as well. So feels a lot more like the Forza, like the real life track in this version, I'd say. Although there are some parts I do think the way he did the corkscrew kind of reminds me of, like, you know, like the Reach version that, you know, he'd probably be inspired by. I think the second half of the track reminds me more of that, but like the first half feels a lot more like the actual track, like Forza-esque. A little bit of a mix of both. And ended up being pretty cool, I'd say. All right, so then, you know, pit entrance on the side as well, and rounding it about, and then there we are for a lap. Okay, so let's go through the field. Final night. Right to left, Fireball, Solange, Detail, Luke, Roman, Soul, Hunter, Camby, and Armada. And real quick, I don't want to like go on too long, but to set the stage, the final points battles going into the night, things to watch. Solange, Luke, and Detail for the road course championship. Luke and Detail for the actual championship. Roman and Soul for 4th place in points. Hunter and Camby for 6th and 7th. And then Armada and Solange are the, well, Fireball, I suppose, too, are the only like few drivers in the field that are kind of just like they're in their points positions and they're just kind of locked. All right, but anyways, we go with the yellow. It's a 25 checkpoint, 12 lap race, and we're green, triple crown as well. By the way, don't want to forget to mention that. So obviously a big event, 3 races on the night, and again, this is closing out the championship. And again, maybe surprisingly, the championship is still at play as well. Detail making a big move to the inside right there, and he has to, because the situation going into tonight, the situation I'm not talking about, what was his name? Was it Mike on the Jersey Shore? Wasn't he like the situation? Anyways, nice 2-wheel save by Soul right there. And getting back to my point, the situation is Detail needs to sweep the night. Literally, it can't be a single second place, doesn't matter. Needs to be 3 wins, and then even then, oh, huge run maybe for the lead there on Fireball. Even then, even if he sweeps, the ball is still not necessarily in his court, so he needs to sweep to have a chance. If Luke wins, if gets second or wins any of the motos, so gets second or wins any of the motos, doesn't have to be multiple. Literally, could just get second in one moto. Then it'll be over. That'll second and first moto, second moto, third moto, whatever. Closes out the whole thing. Or of course gets a win. If he got a win, that would break the Detail needed to win all of them as well. So that's the situation. Ball is basically, I would say, in Luke's court here, because I mean, even if Detail wins all 3, he doesn't really have complete control over his fate. You know, it's not one of those things where like, oh, I sweep the night, it doesn't really matter where you finish. No, it's not one of those things at all. Like, he needs to sweep and then hope that Luke finishes poorly as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch, see how this plays out as we're going down 2 laps down already, which is kind of crazy. How's it even happened? And yeah, the battle for the lead is between Fireball holding onto it right now, but he gets a slow run. Detail around the right side, and now Luke around the left as well. 3 wide for the lead, and right there you can see as they go into the corkscrew as well. Why that's my favorite corner on the track. Love, I don't know what the actual name for that. I have to look it up. I know some of them on Laguna Seca. I don't recall what the name for that corner is. Real life version of the track. But that's one of my favorite corners on the real life version of the track, and I love it here too. And I think it's the best change. That corner was like decent on the original version, but I really love it on this version. It's a really neat corner in the Hogs where you need to make a decision in it. You can take it full speed, but you're going to get a bog if you do that. So the way that you need to take it is you need to either do like a full let off at some point or do some micro let offs and like kind of play with the throttle and get a really nice run out. And it's a really tricky part of the track. And it is one of the most important parts of the track because that run that you get when you hit it properly is insane. That run, you'll like going up the hill, you'll be at like 111 on your speed counter. Whereas when you don't get the run, when you get the bog, you seriously go down to like 90. So it is a huge speed difference. And as you can see right here, I think Detail and Luke, funnily enough, both mess it up here. And you could see Fireball and Slaunch behind them. They both get it that time. And you could see there how they weren't even in the frame. And I think there might have been a little bit of draft too, to be fair, possibly. It kind of seemed like it. But I don't think it was entirely that. I think it was the run off the corner as well. They weren't even in the frame. And then they almost got to Luke's bumper going into the corkscrew. So you'll see a lot of that in that section. It's the section of the track. I really do think so. Not to say that there isn't, skill to the other parts and time to make up in the other parts of the track. But that section is the real difference maker, I'm going to say. And, minimizing your mistakes in that particular section will probably lead to a lot of lap time. Oh, no, a spin out for Fireball in the first turn. And that is something that you have to be careful for. That can very easily happen. Kind of an underrated thing, but yeah, that can very easily happen. That first corner is kind of hard. You go into it with a lot of momentum. As you can see from the front stretch where it has that like up. Oh no, more issues for Fireball. Thought I was going to get hit with the big rewind. So let's see what happened here with Fireball going down. So he obviously had that spin out in the first turn. And then he's probably just trying to get some time back. Obviously lost some track positions starting on the pole here and just tries to absolutely rail this, hitting the inside, hitting the tire hook as well. And just gets a little too much and maybe could have saved it if he was quick off the throttle or on the brake. Maybe, I don't know. He got a pretty heavy two-wheel. I don't know if he could have saved it, to be honest. But either way, goes down, dismounts, no cautions on road courses, unfortunately for him. And yeah, this is unfortunate. He started from the pole. He won the heat race, looked great. Really rough start to his first moto. He might already be thinking about chalking this one and looking for the second moto to have another opportunity at it. Especially with the situation that he's in the season where he's not really, competing for points. He's kind of just racing. If he can go for a win, get a podium, something like that, he'll take it. So we'll see how he handles that, or maybe he'll just have the pace and work his way back through. Never know. So yeah, again, 12 lap race, 25, so about a third of a way through it here. And right now the championship is over. So this is what I was talking about, and this is not what Details wanted to see. So I think he's got to be, obviously he wants to be in the lead, needs to win all the races. I don't think he could be very upset about being in the lead, but he needs, in this race in particular, like a Fireball, a Slaunch, a Soul, somebody like that to put in a good performance and take that second place. And that did not happen. Detail and Luke both made the move for that 1-2 position at the same time. And they kind of worked their way away from Slaunch and Fireball. Fireball has fallen way back. It's now Soul behind Slaunch, and Slaunch's gap has definitely widened a bit to Luke here as well. So not what he wants to see. And it's one of those situations like, what do you do here? If you're Detailed, do you pull a Eli Tomac 2016? I'd have to check that. I think it's 17. Supercross where, you pull some cheese tactics and try to slow up second place to bring the field to him. Is that arguably an excessive blocking penalty? I don't know within our rules, but like, do you attempt something like that? Do you, if Luke gets close behind you, do you hit an inside wall? Do you go for some cheeky maneuvers? Like, what do you do here? Because realistically, He probably needs to do something. Like, you don't even have to go that far, right? Do you just like lay off the gas a little bit? Do you just instead of going like 100%, do you go like 90%? Do you try something like that in this situation to try to bring the pack back into it? That's the type of thing that he's going to have to think about right now, because the way that this race is going, it's gonna be over, because they're battling for the win right now, but they don't even need to be. Like, Luke can just stay like a comfy gap behind, and but maybe not happy with it. And this is where it gets kind of risky. Like, if you're Luke, do you go for this move? Because if things get kind of competitive with Detail, if they get kind of rough, does he throw him off the track? Like, does he not give him as much room as he normally would? Like, what does he do, right? So it's a weird position for both drivers to be in, because obviously Detail is not going to be as nice as he usually would be. But if you're Luke, do you have that run? Do you go for it? Do you commit to it? Because it kind of opens up a risk a little bit. But if you're conservative, that allows the back drivers to potentially catch back up. So it's a weird situation to be in. It's like a weird cat and mouse game to play. All right, so about halfway through the moto here, and maybe it did work out a little bit, because Slaunch maybe has gained on the gap a little bit, or at least maintained it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Seems pretty similar. Some pits probably came in here. Roman now moving into the top 5. Camby, Soul, and let's see, Hunter and Fireball. Where's Armada? Armada right there. He's having a rough go of it. Tough. Gotta bring Ramdeen back into the race. But yeah, maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. Slaunch maybe caught a little bit. I'm not too sure. But like, I'll give you an example. Something that like wouldn't be, an excessive block or whatever. Detail, obviously he's fast, right? He's thick. He knows what he's doing. He can hit that one turn that I was talking about earlier in the race. Get that run, get that full speed. Like, he can obviously do that. Oh, here we go. I'll finish my thought in a moment, because this is another spicy moment too. The undercut coming out of Luke and Slaunch here. They are going for the pits. Detail's going to have to respond to it. And Slaunch goes for an interesting call. He goes for a really quick pit. He gets in front of Luke. Luke goes for a longer pit, completes the reload. And I'd say that works out pretty well for both drivers. They both get clean air. Nothing too crazy. Wow, pit road's really busy. Camby went through. Tight off pit road. Soul, Roman. Pit road really busy on this lap. Fireball, why was he like not shooting? Maybe that was just like lag or something. Pit road really, really busy there for whatever reason. But now I was gonna finish my other point about this turn. I guess I'll do that now. That's weird. Detail obviously knows how to take this turn quickly, but like, it's another example of something he could do, right? He could decide to let off in that turn, and you can't really, like, that's a way you can take it. You can't really say it's like a block or whatever. Instead of doing like his let offs or whatever he does, he could like full let off and try to like trick Luke into like a bog or something like that. Like, there's different tricks in the book you can try to do to try to work this situation. And I think it's interesting, because that's not something that that's not something that you see very often. That's not a race scenario that you get to see. And I think stuff like that is pretty fun. So Detail's going to make the right decision here, I would say. He's going to pit the very next lap to try to cover the undercut from Luke, because they're very competitive with each other. Oh, no. Detail clearly goes out of box. That's going to be tough. Andy gets passed by Luke. Now, to be fair, we didn't get to see the exact bullets. Was that like a legit pass right there? It's hard to say what the difference is in the bullets. Like, will Detail gain more in the next pit? But the big problem here, and there's not really much he could do about it besides correct it, but he chose not to. And to be fair, I mean, I probably would have done the same. That's a hard decision to make there. Detail like clearly got an out of box, which, I mean, I get it. Like, you're in this champ situation. He needs to hold on to that win. They're close. It's not like Luke's just like letting him have the win. Like, it's close for that win. He needs to get all that speed that he can. And just gets a clear out of box. So that's like definitely going to be a penalty. And now it puts Detail in a weird position, because he needs to get this win back and then some, right? Like, now Luke can do what I was talking about earlier and just like sit behind and win, because that out of box, he might not be aware of it, but that out of box penalty is there. Slaunch stays out. Interestingly, on this lap, Luke and Detail both going to go in on the same lap. Let's see how it works out, because this is the second pit. How's it going to go? Fast shots out of Luke. He's done. Detail inbox that time. Oh, Luke does get the pass, and that's even worse, right? So, I mean, obviously, Detail needs to win either way, but now maybe it's not worse. Maybe it's not worse. Let's look at the bright side here. Maybe Detail behind can go for like an aggressive move. You know, get a little bit of wall action. No, I don't know. But maybe can spice things up a little bit here, working from behind instead of being in the lead. Maybe that allows him a little bit more cheese tactics. I don't know. Hard to say, but I don't know. I'm spicing it up, but to be honest, I would say it's not a good scenario. Like, you would definitely rather be in the lead. Even though he needs Luke to fall back to third, I would still rather be in the lead. And it's closing laps, by the way. This is the last lap to take, not the last lap in general, but the last lap to take your pit. So Slaunch, there he goes. He's taking his final pit. Let's see where he works out in this whole ordeal. We got to remember, Slaunch had a really quick pit, so I imagine he should fall pretty far behind, and it's getting spicy. Detail's right there. And you can see Slaunch clearly will be in third. He's going to have third by a bit from behind, too. No pressure from behind. So here we go. 2 laps to go. You can see Detail making the big dive there in turn 1. You could tell he's going to try everything that he can. He needs to get this win back and then some if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive. And we'll see what he could do. You know, he's not above going the extra mile and any sort of tactics like that. Detail is known to like it rough. Word to Kimmy G. See if he can make anything happen here at the end. Gonna need a good run here for sure. Going for it the best that he absolutely can, but I think not getting the best run there. And yeah, it's to a 3 or 4 hog length gap now. So they've been putting on this lead battle. Like, it's nice to see that we're seeing like a legit you know, two drivers competing for the championship lead battle like pretty much this entire moto. But it's going to be tough, man. I mean, we're going to the white flag. I think it might be it. This might be it. Not for the road course championship. That will absolutely still be at play. I think that's still winnable. But as far as the overall championship goes, I mean, that's a 5 or 6 hog length gap. It's going to have to be a miracle, I would say, from Detail at this point. But you never know. There's a lot of ways on this track. We saw it with Fireball earlier in the race. There's a lot of ways that you can very, very easily throw this away. And we'll see if that happens here. And you could tell Detail's going to be absolutely on rails. Try to make up the best that he can. But it's going to... I don't think that he can do it on pure pace. He's going to need a mistake out of Luke. He's going to need a bog in this upcoming corner, a mistake in the corkscrew, a wall hit. He's going to need one of those things to happen, I would say. And it seems like they both get through it. I think Detail might have actually gotten the better run, but not to like a large enough extent. So the next one up is the corkscrew. Will a mistake be made here? Very easy to do. Nope, not quite. Nice and clean so far. And Luke going a little rogue on that one, but yeah, it looks like that'll be it. So here we go for the final time, coming to the line at Laguna Seca. It's going to be Luke taking the first moto, Detail second, Slaunch third, and that's going to... It's unfortunate that I wish it didn't happen in the first moto because it kind of closes out our hype for the other ones a little bit, but Soul fourth, Hunter fifth, and sixth. Roman, Camby seventh, Fireball eighth, and Armada will of course be coming to ninth here as well. Yeah, I wish that didn't happen in the first moto because I would love to amp it up. Now we're going to be following Hunter and Camby and Soul and Roman a lot in the next couple. But yeah, that finish, that's going to wrap it up. Oh my god, that's going to wrap it up for the champ battle. So it was a good fight. You know, good showing from both of them in the first moto, but that win from Luke there is gonna do it. So now Detail is just going for see if he can win a triple crown, see if he can win that road course title, and Slaunch still a dark horse in that race as well. And those other points positions that I mentioned too. So still some things, to be fair, still some things at play. But yeah, the overall championship is gonna be is going to be over here. So we'll go over that in the end as well. But yeah, it'll close out in this first moto. So one more time, Luke, Detail, Slaunch, Soul, Hunter, Roman, Camby, Fireball got cheesed, but yeah, he's after Camby, and then Armada. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Pretty good first moto. Some good battles there. Nice lead battle. Some cheese Fireball. That flip looked pretty sweet. Some good action with him as well early in the race. And yeah, see you guys in Moto 2. Like I said, even though the main championship is over, still a lot of things to follow. So should still be pretty fun. See you guys there.